Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, look what has just arrived. A Marx 400. And I found this on eBay for $1. $1. And I was the only bidder. Now, the body, the 400 body, is shot. It's broken there. The rear mounting plate for the motor is missing, which is also the floor plate for the locomotive, which has the coupler on it. So I just took the motor out. Now, the motor was trashed. Now, this had been sitting someplace for decades. This is one of the screws that came out of it. So the motor was just absolutely covered in rust and majorly damaged. The mounting plate for the contactor has a stud on either end that rides in a groove, as you see. And the one on this end was broken off. So I just make a replacement. When I find these, you can use a thin copper strip and just epoxy it to the plate itself. And that replaces the tab and it's repaired. So I replaced the spring and then lubed and tuned the motor. And haven't even cleaned the brushes yet. I got it running and just wanted to do a quick video on this. So anyway, I took the motor and I bought it. I bought this just for parts. But like I said, before I tear anything apart for parts, I always try to see what it would take to get it running. So like I said, I prepared the mount for the contacting plate and put the motor in a 490 body, which is virtually identical to the 400. And I just want to test this on a rail. So I ran it on the bench for like 15 minutes or so. You can see the armature is really, really dirty. I haven't cleaned the brushes yet, like I said. But anyway, I just wanted to put this on the rail and see how it will run. So I've dropped the motor into a 490 body, and we're going to pull, or try to pull, 18 Marx cars. Now, there is no traction tire on this engine, so I don't know if it'll pull this or not. So it's going to be the first run on the rail. Marx 400, currently in a 490 body. $1 on eBay. I was the only bidder. So, pulling 18 Marx cars, let's see how this goes. Wow. So, as you can see, it was definitely worth the $1. So when I find these things, I buy them just to get the motor out of them. And in this case, I bought it strictly just for parts, because this one was in fairly poor condition. So I bypassed the E-unit, lubed it and tuned it. I have not cleaned the brushes yet. I just wanted to see if it was worth going any further, so I wanted to test this and see how it's going to run. So as you see, it's running perfectly, absolutely perfectly. And it's pulling 18 cars, which is pretty good for a Marx 400, or a 490 for that matter. This is a single reduction motor. All right, let's take a look here. Well, all in all, like I said, it was definitely worth the $1. So all I've got to do is clean this up. I'll pull the brushes out and clean them. Like I said, I haven't even done that yet. I wanted to see if it was worth it before I put any major amount of work into it. And like I said, I bought it just to pull it apart and strip it for parts. But it has some run time, as you see. Not an incredible amount, but it's definitely been run. But it's been stored someplace for a long time. Very likely after it got broken. Because once you break the mount for the contactor, this engine's never going to run again until you replace it. So like I said, I just used a small piece of copper. Actually a copper strip that I had in the shop. And just epoxied it to the top of the mounting plate. And as you see, it makes an absolutely instant replacement for mounting the main contactor. So an old engine covered in rust, stored badly for decades, and yet it's up and running. So as I stress, don't overlook the junk. This was $1. You know, it's just, it was trash, and I bought it strictly for parts. But with a little bit of time, ingenuity, and skill, and once you know how to repair these Marx motors, it takes a lot to keep them from running. Like I said, about 99% of these motors that I buy for parts actually wind up running rather than being used for parts. The ones I can't fix at all, yes, I cannibalize them, strip them for parts. But in this case, this is actually quite a good running motor. So I will very likely just discard the body and put this in perhaps the Commodore Vanderbilt wind-up conversion, something like that. Anyway, so I have an extra motor now, and that was the whole idea, was either parts or motors. And just a quick test to see how this is going to run. And it runs quite good, quite surprising. So I just wanted to do a quick video. Marx 400, just in terrible, terrible condition. $1 on eBay, 2 hours work, and it's sitting here running, and running quite well. So I just wanted to do a quick video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.